Welcome! There's a lot of nothing to talk about today, and we are going to be the talking abouters of the nothing.
Yes,
Um,
talking about ours.
you guys may not have heard of our podcast before, but there's a lot of nothing to talk about. This is Ethan, my brother, one of the co-hosts. I am the other co-host, Kyle Walker. We've been doing this for one whole episode, so happy anniversary to the second episode.
And don't forget to thank our kind editor, Nave.
Yes, Nath is biscuits and gravy, people. Nath is like, woo!
He's
Nath,
awesome.
you
He's
know
the
who you
only
are.
paid member of this podcast.
That's right. We are currently not paid until you make us paid. So please make us paid. Make us paid
What a
in your
kind
own
thing
time.
to ask. Everybody, just send us money. Send us money to our...
Just... Please stop doing this. You're ruining everything every time that happens.
They're attracted to the light. I can kill them.
Good, that means they'll stay away from you. Anyway, so today I thought we'd start with a segment called About Our Childhood. This is gonna just be, funny, impactful, or like important moments in our lives, and how that impacts us now. And yeah, we actually have already started and done this beginning part of the segment before, but there were a few technical difficulties that arose, but we are past them now.
Hot.
Technical difficulties.
My legs are warm. So, alright, so childhood stuff. Kyle, why don't you start it off?
I will. I'll start. So, childhood. Early childhood. One of the first things that comes to my mind. So, Ethan and I were lucky enough that we grew up with a lot of family. A lot of aunts and uncles, great aunts and uncles. Our grandparents on our mother's side, our grandparents on our father's side. Now, what our father's parents, they lived in North Carolina, and quite often, like during holidays, like Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas, sometimes in the summer, we would go visit and spend some time there with them for like maybe 2 weeks, or a week or 2 weeks, But one of those memories I remember quite fondly is when we had our dear adventure down Cannonball Hill. Now, I say we, but it was really me. And I say adventure, but it was really horrifying adventure, horrifying experience, horrifying moments I was subjected to. Yeah, Cannonball Hill, a horrifying adventure, a moment of my life that I'll never forget. So, Ethan and I were, our grandmother, our Nana, we call our grandparents Nana and Papa. Nana was, she had gone off to the grocery store or work or something. I don't exactly remember where she had gone, but Papa was taking care of us. And the morning started with him watching, 5-0 and falling asleep in his chair while we were playing around. And every time we bugged him, he would sort of be like, just go outside or something. And we were like, okay, I guess so. So we went outside and just sort of explored, like running around the front yard. There was a big magnolia tree, and so all the little like acorn-like things, they sort of looked like grenades, and we were playing like grenade battles with them. And eventually, my grandfather Papa, he came out and he started raking the yard. Now, of course, Ethan and I, being sweet, caring children who love our Papa, we were like, Papa, let us help. And so we were trying to help him. Now, our Papa is a wonderful, wonderful, sweet old man now. But at the time, he was more of a grumpy grandpa. And he sort of was just like, buzz off, kids, like, get out of here.
But he was...
grumpy.
He was a lot
grumpy.
more, like, furled. He was a lot more of a furled person. But he was still an extremely sweet grandfather.
Yeah.
I love Papa.
No cap. That's all facts right there. I'm old, guys. Forgive me. So we we go ahead and we decide we're gonna pull each other in a wagon. We had this sort of old red wagon that my dad and his siblings like played in when they were kids that they still had. It's gone now, but at the time when I was about 5 years old, or no, maybe about 7 years old, and Ethan was about 4 years old. 4 years old. We were pulling each other in this wagon, and Ethan really was trying to prove to me, like, I got you, man. I'm going to pull you in the wagon. And I was like, okay, sure.
Those, like, little, like, car things. Like, like, the little, like, you get in the little car and you close the door.
No, you're thinking of the one at Grandma and Grandpa's.
Well, they had one, too.
No, we had, like, actual powered battery vehicles. Yeah, we had, like, no, that was Grandma and Grandpa's.
No, I swear we had one at that place.
The blue-topped one with the pink bottom, that was Grandma and Grandpa's, yeah.
I'm talking about the one with the blue bottom. It was a, like, lighter baby blue with a white top, like, little tyke, like, thingy, and we still had the floor in it.
Well, they might have, but I know for sure I rolled down this in the wagon.
Okay.
I know that for sure. Because that wagon doesn't exist anymore! So, I'm rolling Ethan around, like, the driveway, which is this long stretch of, like, broken concrete. And, yes, thank you, God. And,
So, I'll say it really quick. Sorry to those who, there was just this sudden cut. There was some issues with our, imaging and audio, and that cut out on the video call, so we had to come back. So
I am 4,000 miles away on a mountain.
In the middle of
these things are expected. Actually, it's sunny right now.
But is it snowy?
Yeah, maybe I can show a picture, like when we end, like towards the end of it, I can move the camera and show you guys outside the window.
Outside the window, yeah. Maybe that, like, if you get like I would love like a cool like video of snow falling or something like that. That could be really cool for.
I have a few of those. Yeah, I'll send you it.
Send me just a video of snow falling. I'll add that like at the end with like the thank you.
Oh, praise the Lord. So we
amen.
Oh, hallelujah.
All right.
So
I'm just
we're in the wagon,
coming over me, and every time I see, I sense something, I just gotta,
The spirit is strong. I can feel it shaking my bones.
Mm-hmm. I think I inhaled one. The presence.
You're like the guy from the Green Mile.
Is it too loud? Candy. Is my clap coming through really hard on the microphone?
No.
Okay, good.
I'm fine. I have you turned down to a good volume.
So, then right.
Yes. You were like, I want to pull you in this wagon, and so I said, yeah, you know what? He can't pull me that far. He's little. I was wrong. Ethan starts pulling me in the wagon, not just down the driveway, down the street. Papa is there, freaking raking the yard. And Cannonball Hill, if you guys, have never been to Fayetteville, North Carolina, which, probably not.
It's what we call
it. Where our parents...
It's not the actual Cannonball Hill. It's just a really big hill.
No, but it's literally like the incline is about like this, and it just slowly inclines more and curves like that around the hill, and then just like right into an intersection at the bottom. And
it's like
so
not right into it, but like it's like a good 15 feet, but still.
No, it intersects. So like the street you're on continues across and goes up another hill. The street that intersects it goes into a dead end, like a cul-de-sac with two houses on it.
It's close to an intersection, yeah, of a thing, but it's not like you
come off the hill. A neighborhood intersection, like a four-way stop, like a neighborhood intersection, not like a major intersection. Mm-hmm. So he pulls me. I look at him.
It's not an intersection. It's just a road, and it just stops. So one road.
No, you go across. The road you're on goes across. The road intersecting has a dead end woods.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a three-way stop. Actually, it's technically a one-way stop. Just the car coming from that intersection stops and goes. But it's an intersection. Continue, please.
Yes, I will. So, basically, Ethan pulls me right to the edge of the hill, and he's like, "Yeah, this is good. I did a good job." And he turns around with the wagon, and Papa at that point is like, "What are you doing?" And little Ethan's there. He's like 4 years old. He's like, "I put Kyle on the cart." And I'm like, "Hi, Papa." And then as that's happening, Papa's like, don't pull your brother out there in the middle of the road. Get back over here." And as he's doing that, Ethan has like let go of the cart. And then I just begin rolling backwards down Cannonball Hill in this red wagon. And let's just say, uh-oh. And I'm rolling down this hill, probably going like 10, 15 miles an hour, like down the hill by the end of it. And as I'm rolling past, I'm just holding on. Everything's shaking. I'm looking around. Oh, and I just see this. The thing I remember the most clearly is one, Ethan's face going, Papa's voice going, shh, and then a man on a ladder at the house to my left, just working on the roof. I'm passing by him, and for me in this memory, it feels like slow motion. It probably was a lot quicker, or maybe not even as dramatic as this. But he's on this full extended ladder on this house on Cannonball Hill. And I just watch as I pass by as this ladder just... And I just hear him... "Ah!" And he just starts rolling down his side yard. And I just remember clenching the wagon really hard and thinking, Jesus, I'm gonna die. Please send me to heaven. I'm so sorry if I was mean to Ethan. I'm so sorry for eating extra dessert before dinner. Please. Oh God, help me!
Kyle was like
Oh,
7 years old at this point in time. Like he was young. Like he was pretty young at this time too. So.
Oh, we're both little guys. We were just trying to distract ourselves. We wanted to help our Papa with the raking, but we weren't very good at physical labor. Our parents never really made us do anything. Like,
well, our parents, we just didn't really like do a lot of like yard work and things like that because we lived in
every time
we moved.
We ever tried.
We never like had like a house that we like lived at for more than like 3 years. We moved around a lot. And
by the time I was 15 years old, we had moved like 16 times.
Not 16
total.
Times. By that point in time,
yes. By the time I was 15,
they owned the house they had owned, North Carolina, back to Florida. We moved from the apartments.
The house we owned in Meadow Point to Raleigh to Fayetteville, back to Florida.
We moved back to Florida straight from Raleigh.
We moved to Fayetteville.
We'll count that. Back to Fayetteville. Okay, back to Florida. We lived in 2 apartments. We switched apartments, so 2 more. Then we moved to back to Fayetteville. Sorry, we moved to Fort Lauderdale. No, Costa Rica.
Fort Lauderdale, Costa Rica.
Yeah, Fort Lauderdale, Costa Rica. Okay, and then we moved
back to Florida,
and then
to North Carolina.
North Carolina, we moved 3 different times in North Carolina.
And then 3 times.
1,
2, 3. That's 12 so far.
Okay, and then
we moved to Live Oak.
How old were you there? You were 13?
13. Then we moved to Live Oak. Then we moved to what was it? It was
in Hunter's Green, the
Charles.
apartment. No, the apartment.
Yeah, the apartment. Then we moved to the neighborhood next to the apartment. That's 15 times.
By the
I'm
time we were
15 years
by the
old
time
at
we
this
were in the
point.
apartments, I was 14. I was in high school.
Well, that's still 14 times, Ethan. By the time I'm 15.
14.
By the time I was
14.
right, but then we moved. Then we moved 2, 3, 4 more times.
Oh yeah.
So by the time I was 20, we'd moved 17 times.
Yeah, we moved.
Okay, so just understand, guys. We were very actively, and like, yeah, it was, sometimes it was just houses within the same state, but we moved like not close all the time. Not until we were in Hunter's Green.
We are expert movers. We can pack.
People
I can pack a house in like 2 days, like by myself if I had to.
Oh, are you kidding? We could pack a house and get it into the next house by like 11 o'clock the next day. Like we could have the whole house.
That's a little bit of it. Maybe 2.5 days for packing and moving. We could technically pack a house in a day if we just spent 20 hours.
Well, we can move a house in like 5 hours flat.
Well, maybe if we have a
like depending on the drive, but we moved like Vans to Fort Worth, back and forth 3 times.
From where to?
Vans to Fort Worth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so.
Yeah. Anyway, I somehow survived with nothing else but some messed up knees, and the cart broke. The front 2 wheels broke.
It hit a pothole.
That wagon.
At the bottom of the hill. There was a big pothole right on the road and at the bottom of the hill, and he just rode all the way down. Somehow bounced off a curb, continuing to go down this hill, like slid off the curb without flipping, and then
I was on the sidewalk for a little while.
And it hit the pothole, broke this cart, and then just like slid.
I was backwards, guys. Like, I don't think you understand. Like, I'm 7. No, first roller coaster ever ridden was like very recent to this. I was freaked out. It was not of. It's fun looking back on it now, but at the time, little 7-year-old Kyle was like, "Oh, my family will be okay without me."
Oh. No, we wouldn't have. We would have been so sad. That would have broken us all. It would have.
Yeah, and I remember, like, literally, we did not. No one knew that story until we were a lot older, and then Papa like confirmed it. Do you remember that? We were like I was like 13, 14 years old when we finally told that story to Mom and Dad.
Yeah, because Papa didn't tell anybody. We just didn't.
He told Nana, and Nana was so scared because my mom, you know, knowing how grumpy and sort of like unaware Papa can be, was having Nana really watch us while we were with him, and
then he was like, "Y'all want some Cokes?" And we just went inside and had some Cokes, and it was a great day.
I had skinned knees. Papa put like those big square bandages on my knees. I was wearing like long sleeves.
All that mattered was that, you know, we were kids, and my parents were just like, he fell. Papa was like, yeah, he fell. You know? The kids get scared.
Imagine that story later. My mom had like an aneurysm. Like, I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah. It was like, you were all bruised. No, but so
I was. That was the only time I had like yellow bruises like on my face and shoulders and stuff. Like, it looked like I was beat.
Your mom and dad didn't believe the moment in time when you fell down that hill after riding your bike and like scraped like so much flesh off your arm, and they were like, yeah, and like it was this whole thing in North Carolina.
I had like a folding flap off my elbow that just like.
It was bad.
And Mom cut it off with nail clippers in the sink. I had my arm like that, and she just took nail clippers and went.
I can't believe that's a little gross. Sorry, guys, if you're squeamish.
Yeah, we'll stop describing it.
But
yeah, that was what was.
You were like 13.
I was a lot older.
You were like 13.
No,
it was like 30. You were like 13.
Yeah,
when we were living there. It was when we were living in North Carolina.
That's right. It was when we were about to. We had left our house. We were getting ready to move, and we had like, yeah. and Mom like flew for dental stuff. That was a weird period of time.
But you know, that I can't believe that they don't remember that. Like, that was such like an insane moment. I can't.
You were
believe
there.
they
Mom
forgot it.
was there.
They all were. Both of them were like, you guys had to call me. You were in Yellowstone when you guys were talking about that, right? And you called me like, Ethan, did this happen? And I'm like, yeah. Like, is that a question? And they're like, what? No, there's no way that happened. I'm like, yeah, it happened. He like fell down. I think what truthfully you were trying to do, I think at that point in time
I
you
was
were like,
standing. I was standing on the back rim, no hands, coasting down the
I
hill,
don't
and the
think that's what it
pedal
was.
caught in my shoe,
At that point in time,
and
I
I
think
slipped.
you were trying to do the back wheel slide where you rode up and then you slid your back wheel out from behind you to like stop. Because I think I had learned how to do that at that moment in time, and you were trying to do it, and you were doing it for some reason at the top of the hill. There were two hills in this neighborhood. The Cannonball is what we called it, and then this one, that slightly sloping hill. And for some reason, I think you tried to do it at the top of the hill. Your bike caught, and you flew off the bike and just slid down the hill.
Well, yeah, I don't remember exactly what version of events happened, but I do know this. The back wheel of my bike caught in the grate of a sewer grate, and I flew
Yeah, I'm
off
pretty
my
sure that
bike.
that's what
And,
happened. Is that you were sliding like that? Your back wheel didn't
yeah,
slide right. It got caught because you turned it
I was
sideways.
doing tons of tricks, because I was always a competitive, sort of like,
And then
when I was
Dad
younger, I
would
was
just
like
come
very
out
kind
and
of
do
jealous
like
and competitive,
wheelies and just like flares
and bunny
and
hops,
just
and like, he
insane
would be on
stuff.
like the tiny BMX bike, where you could like put your feet on the back pegs and like
I
do
wish we were able to
like
ride.
little
I mean, I know
hops,
we rode bikes, but we
stoppies,
didn't ride
and
bikes like that, you know, when we were kids. I actually
we weren't
thought
allowed to. Like,
of a
it's not like they allowed us to ride to a friend's house or something. It was like, nah, you can't go anywhere. We have to take you into a play date.
shoot. I forgot my story that I had thought of.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. I'll tell the sorry for all the gory stories. These are stories about us doing stupid things and getting hurt as kids, most likely, because that's what kids do a lot, is they get hurt. Oh wait, oh shoot, I just had it.
Oh, what about the time in the green apartments where you got mad and you went and reversed the car?
Oh, when I crashed the car. I didn't
Yeah,
get
when you like
mad. I
reversed.
just thought I could
You
drive
didn't
it
crash it. You reversed it
into the
from
curb.
one parking space over the back wheels over the
The
curb.
curb,
You
yeah.
like, yeah. You were like what,
That was
like
the van,
4 or
right?
5
The
years
like
old?
green van. I think that was the green van, yeah. Um,
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, that was
I
a
was a
great. It was.
child. That was a scary moment. It's embedded in my mind. I was terrified of cars for a little bit.
Do you remember what led up to that? I don't. I just know
I
you were
don't
mad
think
because you
I
you were
think
going somewhere,
I
and
don't
Mom
think
was like, "We can't go today."
I think I took the keys because we were gonna go get in the car, and I thought, oh, I'll go get the car started because I was a little child, and I thought like I'm gonna start the car because I'm cool. And I walked over to the car, opened the driver's seat door, put the keys in, right, and then just I just moved the gear stick, like thinking that's how you put. I seen people do it. Truthfully,
You
I'm
went into
actually
neutral, right?
no. I put myself in reverse. No, I just put
Oh
myself in
yeah.
drive. I just drove forward. I don't think I pulled it back. I thought I went, all right. Then they pushed that pedal, and I pushed the pedal, and the car just went, and it like scraped up some stuff.
But you went. We watched it. So like,
You guys were
you
coming
know, in
out of
like
the front door, yeah.
apartment neighborhoods, there's a
The
road,
front, like
and on
the
either side, on the right and on the left, there's like a curbside parking space closer to the building, and there's a parking space on the right, like further away from the building, on the opposite side of the road. Ethan literally was far, and he just drove the car straight across into a different parking space and just up onto the curb. Like,
I got in so much trouble for that. They were like so scared. Well, they were actually.
because you were always the kid figuring stuff out, like you would figure out like the basics of things so fast. Like
I'm very good at
explorative, intuitive
seeing things
child,
and
very
just doing
like.
them the first time. I'm very good at like quick learning.
Because I did not know, like, I did not even understand how cars worked until I was probably like 13, 14
You're
years
like,
old. Like,
I can drive that? Like, holy crap! Like, whoa. I remember doing that.
Mom and Dad
And then
described it to me as you have to be heavy enough that the car will go. So like
that's for the
front passenger seat, yeah,
not the seat, the
and like
airbags.
yeah, right, which was
If you sit in
true in a
front,
way. It was like
that's
it was like
how
a white.
I think that's a smart way to do that.
It
If
was
your kids are heavy enough to set off the airbags, it's actually extremely dangerous. But you know, if the airbags,
yeah.
if they're heavy enough to sit there and the airbags go, I think it's like 150
Luckily,
pounds.
Ethan was
Like
in the
110
front.
pounds
He was
or-
in the front, like in the floor. You were like in the floorboard, hitting it with like your hand.
I couldn't see anything. I was underneath. No, I held the wheel. I slid down to my back and I just pushed the thing with my foot, and it just started going. And I let it go because I felt like I was going, and I like tried to climb back up, and then I was just going over the curb, and the curb stopped me because I couldn't push it that hard because I was a weak little child. But I pushed it hard enough to go
And
over
the curb
a curb.
stopped it. And
Yeah,
it was
I went over
lucky that the wheels got stuck because it like the car could have rolled back away or something. Like we were. I just remember Dad.
I remember
That was the
going up
first time
curb.
Dad. That was the first time Dad spanked you. Like he pulled you out and took you back inside. Like,
Well, no. First,
come on,
they
we're
checked
going.
to make sure I was okay. Once they realized I was okay, my dad spanked me like hard. As of course,
Like he took you up. I remember this so well. He was like, just like steel, like grabbed your arm.
I think actually mom grabbed my ear and dragged me upstairs by my ear. As dad checked the thingy, and then I got scolded by my mom, and then dad came up, and then dad like.
I just remember that being
I did something
so.
stupid.
I just remember standing there, and they literally were like, "Dad just turned off the car," and I remember the keys were just in there. The door was open. There was a beeping sound going off. The car is just now reversed back into the spot, and I'm just sitting there like,
Sorry. Okay.
we're just sitting there like, Dad, what the heck? And I'm just standing there waiting for everybody, you know. And I was always Ethan was always the kid who got in the more.
I was the
He did more of the stuff, like and I never did that stuff, and he did, which is weird.
Stuff.
Usually it's
You
like what?
You definitely did some stuff. There were plenty.
I was the good kid.
We were both good kids, but as kids go, we were good kids.
Our parents.
We got a little bit more rebellious
now
older,
like to admit that. Well, you for sure were like the moodier one when you got older.
When I got old, like when I hit 17,
that
was it.
18, 19, you were like moody.
And then
But I mean, it was understandable. You were in a weird
ever since
place.
I hit 19, I've been relatively like sufficient in a way, like not self-sufficient, but relatively like I love you guys. You guys are my family. You know, I want to spend time with you. But I've been more focused on just like my life in that situation from that point on, and I stopped I tried to stop relying as much as I could on my parents and family. Right now, I'm in a situation that I can't help but ask for help from you guys. But if I didn't have to, I wouldn't.
No, you're great, Ethan. I'm proud of like what you've done so far. You know, and you, though I have to say though, you got a taste of your own medicine, because it was real easy to be self-sufficient when everybody lived right next to you. But then when we were gone for a while, you were like, I want to visit everybody more.
Well, I like that more. I like wanting to see you guys.
When we were right there, it was easy for you to be like, I don't have to visit like once a week or once a month. And then we were gone, and it was like, please. Can I visit more?
Yeah. What's another funny story though? Oh yeah, I missed you guys so much when you guys all left recently, especially because it was at like such a difficult point for me. Because for those who are listening, I've been having a lot of like health issues recently, and so it was like the worst time for me to like be alone. Like my family is nowhere close to me; they're 4,000 miles away. Nothing they can do, and thankfully I have a very very.
I mean, I tried. We talked. We
No, we
talked
did.
while you were
We
gone,
did.
you and me.
You guys helped when you like as you could, and it did help a lot. But once you guys came back, it was really nice. And then you left again. But I have my parents back now. They're here, so that's good. Well, they're not here, but they're in Florida.
Yeah, another funny story.
Oh, I thought I had one. So I was thinking about times that we got hurt or did stupid things. Maybe it was just stupid things. Well, there's one I have about this time that was like less funny, but it happened a lot. For some reason, there was like a month and a half period of time where this just kept happening. So, and it is the nosebleed story. And just so you know, Kyle did thoroughly apologize for all of these situations, and he feels much worse now hearing about them than he did when he was a kid. At least he just kind of was like, "Oh, it's not my fault," and now he's like, "I'm sorry." He's like, "I feel horrible."
I do, but like it also wasn't like I was intentionally trying to murder you or something.
No, it wasn't.
And I feel like you
it
sometimes draw it out like I was trying to injure you, but it was more like
you did
every time you were like throw something to me.
No, you would throw something at me.
I was trying to hit you in the back of the head.
You were in front of me. You were in front.
Your back was turned, and then
it wasn't.
And then you would turn around, and it'd be like, "Bah!"
Okay, so the first time, I think we were just like play fighting in a way, like we were like.
2 good hurts of mine are gone forever, and I did that because I did feel bad.
Mine too. Mine too, dude. One of them was so bad. Okay, let me just tell this.
That was when we were living with Grandma and Grandpa.
The first time it happened. The second and third, we were at.
In the car when we were headed back.
We were
living with Grandma and Grandpa.
We were going with them, yeah. But let me finish the story.
We were in their bathroom.
No,
when that happened.
No,
and I had to explain to Grandma that you were in there.
The third time was the time I came home.
No, it was the second time. It was the second time because I'd already hit you and you already had like a blood clot up in your nose.
Happened. Okay, just listen. So the first time that happened, we were actually at Grandma's house and we were messing around. This was completely, fine. It wasn't anybody's fault. It just happened. And Kyle ended up hitting me with his arm or something like that in my face, in my nose. I got a small nosebleed. Nothing bad. Just a nosebleed. It was completely normal in that moment in time. I was like, that hurt. And I went to the bathroom, got my nosebleed. My grandma came in. She's like, what happened? And I'm like, I got a nosebleed. Like we were messing around, got a nosebleed. She's like, you have to be careful. And I was like, okay, grandma. And then that was that, right? Second time, Kyle and I were back at our house with my parents, right? We decided we wanted to go to the park, just to go walk around the park, I think. And we were walking out of our house, and we lived literally right across the street from the park in our neighborhood. So we were walking down the street towards the park, and Kyle was wearing slides. And I don't remember what we were talking about or anything like that, but I remember Kyle pulled his slide off, turned to me, and chucked his slide at me, and it hit me square in the face. It just smacked me right in the face. And he was like, I'm so sorry. And I was like, blood starting to pour. Way worse than the first time. So much more blood. Not like horrible amounts of blood, but definitely a very heavy nosebleed.
Enough that he had like a little pink stain like under his nose. Like,
it was bad. Both
for blood.
Both noses this time. First time was only the first nose.
Both noses.
Both nostrils, sorry.
No, he has a
It's
secret
bleeding.
nose.
We immediately head back to the house, get the blood to stop. My mom scolded Kyle, saying, "Don't throw shoes at your brother," and
She threw a shoe at me.
probably.
She will deny it, but she threw shoes and hangers at me my whole teenage life because I was such a menace, apparently.
Hey man, it's that Hispanic blood. So we get back to the house, we fix that. Kyle apologizes he apologizes with the same excuse of, I wasn't trying to hit him in the face, I was trying to throw it in the back of his head. I'm like, I was walking towards and that was what he said every single time.
Yeah, every time I give that reason, because that's the reasoning in my head. Like, I can't get rid of that reasoning.
You were trying
I forget that you were facing me every time I forget, and I'm like, and then when you say it, I'm like, oh, you're right, you were behind me. Yeah,
it's okay.
I remember. I don't know why I thought. I don't know why I thought I could hit you on the head, like, and not your face. I don't know what I was thinking. I was an idiot.
It just beelined it straight. It hit me right in the nose.
But I gotta say this.
Close
This
to any other part.
This is when we figured out that take me for laser tag, because that aim though.
Then the third time was probably the worst, and also I don't know how I stayed so calm.
Okay, but also this one was an accident too, because we were in a car back seat.
We were messing around,
and I like something happened where I like
I'll tell you.
moved my arm
I know
in
exactly what happened. We were messing around, and I think I did something that kind of upset Kyle. We were sitting in the back of my grandparents' cars. My grandparents' car.
Eno was a brat.
We both were. And so we were in the back of the car. We're brothers. We were brothers. It's normal. We were in the back of my grandparents' car. In background, my grandfather, when he's driving, drives
windows up, quiet.
Windows up, quiet.
No music.
Nothing. He would sometimes listen to like jazz, but this was not one of those times. Like my grandmother.
Because he was mad already at grandma.
Yeah, something had happened. Yeah, I forget. They argued in Spanish or something like that. I don't know. And
I know what happened.
We were sitting there in the car, and we're completely silent. Kyle and I are like whisper talking to each other, and like messing with each other in some way. And Kyle got slightly frustrated and went like that.
The cup holder.
No, you went to like hit me like.
Oh, that's what it was. The cup holder. You were clicking and snapping shut the cup holder over and over and over, and I was like, "Can you please stop, please, Ethan? It's really bugging me."
It was like a little like.
Please stop it, stop. And Ethan's just looking at me like, "Huh? What?" And he just keeps doing it, and I said please one time, and then I asked him a bunch of times, and it just kept escalating until I was like, and I like armbarred him right in the nose.
Violence is never the answer.
Yeah. It is when somebody won't stop, Ethan.
No, it's not, Kyle. You should know this.
I was going insane.
You love Jesus. A period of time. Did Jesus ever hit somebody?
I did not back then. That was a period of time where, like, dude, demons were bothering me, man. Like, I had stuff going on, people, like, in my head. I was in a bad place. That was a rough time. And it was inexcusable, and I shouldn't have hit you. But
I was
you didn't listen to me, also. And we were both kind of just jerks to each other.
That, but I was a bit of a butt for annoying you. I was intentionally annoying you. It wasn't that, like, I wasn't going to listen to you in general. That was the thing. It was like, you know, if you just hadn't said anything multiple times, if you had asked me, can you just please stop? I probably would have stopped in like 5 seconds if you hadn't made it so fun to annoy you in that moment.
That's not true. I said please 2 times.
You did, but you kept asking, and that made me want to keep doing it.
I felt crazy.
I know.
Anyway, continue. Go.
But you hit me square in the nose. And this was like a day or so after.
Armbar to the face.
This is like a day or so after I had the bad nosebleed, and so my nose is completely like clotted, basically. and filled with like.
He had like
dry
little
blood.
crusty blood, like scabs,
Don't touch your nose.
all like.
Stop it. And so yeah, I had like blood in my nose. The worst side was this side, and I remember him hitting me, and then instead of just like a normal trickle or like a slight like just like drip of it, it just started to just like pour like streams of blood down my face. It was literally like
A lot, like
drip,
a
drip,
pool
drip.
of it gathered, like
It was just like
his
streaming
shirt.
off of my chin onto my shirt, and we're in the back seat, and Kyle sees this and he goes, like, oh my god.
And you're wait, I can do your face exactly. You're just there like this.
I wanted to punch him, but I know that I didn't want. I don't. My grandparents are extremely kind.
I took off my friggin' shirt.
And you handed it to me to, yeah.
And I had it
Your
on
sweater.
his face,
Your sweater.
gathering blood like this.
Yeah, I'm sitting there holding my
Oh.
shirt like this, like doing this,
Yeah.
like holding it. Kyle gave me like his like sweaterish like jacket thing, and I'm like holding it, but blood is still.
A nice, like
dripping.
cream white one I had that I got for Christmas. It's fine.
It's still like
I didn't
dripping
care.
down my shirt.
I didn't care. Ethan was like, and then
I was
we
bleeding
just
a
have
lot.
to be silent. The whole way home, we're silent. And then as we're getting out, I'm just there sitting, and I move to the center seat and move forward and start talking to Grandma and Grandpa.
I get out. So I get out of the car, and I just kind of like waved Grandma and Grandpa. I'm like, I love you guys. Like, bye. Thank you so much for dinner. Like talking, holding my. Kyle had his sweater. It's back. I gave him his. Actually, I think I just set it in my shirt.
No, you had it just like on.
I wasn't
like
hold-
you're like this.
Oh, I was holding it. Yeah, you're right. But I'm still just
You just
pouring.
ran.
I'm still just pouring blood into my shirt. Even though this is up, it's just pouring. And it's like pooling. It's like dripping out the bottom of my shirt, going onto my pants. And then I
So
get
I
up, my
distract them.
I walk up to the
Bye.
door. He and I like just wave bye. I'm like, so like bye grandma, bye grandpa. I felt so bad because I normally would give them both like a hug and a kiss goodbye. Well, my grandma at least a hug and a kiss. My grandfather would just high five us.
He hugged us back then.
Yeah, maybe he would, but not from the car. So I get up to the door. Kyle gets up. They leave, and I just drop my shirt, and just like a pool of blood just like splashes onto the
That's not
ground.
even the worst part, though.
And then we go inside.
We go in.
Yeah, and I just. But like when I tell you I lost so much blood, I didn't even think about that as a thing at that age. I think in that moment I was like 14, I think, at that point in time.
Wait, do you not remember the worst part?
What was the worst part?
You go into the bathroom, and I'm there with you, and I'm trying to help you, like, clean up your face and stuff, because Mom and Dad, right? And we're like, let's just forget this. We were both assholes. I hate you. That was wrong of me. I'm, like, apologizing. At this point, any time where I've been, like, I didn't mean to hit you, I'm just like, I'm sorry. And we're just trying to move past this. And Ethan sits there and pushes here on his nose and sneezes, and a frickin' blood clot,
Oh yeah, like the size of like a grape.
like this big, just pops out.
And then another one formed later, even bigger. And I think we literally had to get tweezers and like pull it out. It was horrible. But yeah, I just kept bleeding for a while. It was horrible. Man, that one sucked.
Yeah. And we just got rid of our clothes that day and threw it away. And I think Mom and Dad found out, and they were mad at me. And I got like cuffed on the back of the head. And
They came into the room and they were there. They were like, they saw me like in the bathroom, sink full of blood. Like, what the frick happened? Like, because they heard us come home.
Dad was laughing. Dad was laughing because it reminded him of Trent and him being jerks to each other, and that was Mom was so mad at me, and she was at every right to be, and I am sorry.
No, it's okay.
But
Hold grudges.
you can always tell this story to your kids.
It was a really like horrible thing. It was so bad.
I am so lucky. Ethan does not hold grudges.
I know.
None. Never held one.
that's a lie. I said I'm happy that we get along so well now, and that's like
I hate saying that because I feel like
we got along
we
fine
got
as
along
kid.
okay.
No, we did, but we definitely understand each other a lot better now. Like we get each other's feelings, emotions, things like that a lot better, and we typically can work things out a lot easier now. Ever since I was like 19, we started to get along a lot easier. And then
well, that's right when I had my turnaround with like God, and
you started like focusing more on it, yeah. All right.
it changed my life. Like Jesus Christ changed my life. I was a pit of anger and despair and like I was a complete wreck that period of time in 2020 when I was here. And like everybody hated being around me. There was nobody who was like, let's hang out with Kyle. No one was like that.
I mean, 2020 or 2018?
2020.
20. That was when we came back from Yellowstone, wasn't it? Sorry.
Yeah, you were No, it was the year COVID started, and we got stuck here. Mom, Dad, and I. You were about to be 20, but I was like 22. You turned 19, and then I turned 23. Right when I at the end of that year. Right when I.
Yes.
But 2020, when I was 22, horrible period of time for me, and I sucked.
There were multiple times though that I actually did have. There were multiple times I did perfectly fine in defending myself, but then there was like 1 or 2 times where I got angry and came at you, and like you just like I remember just like falling onto a bed and being like, something hit me. I'm like, there were many times that I was able to perfectly fine like fight against you or even like hold you down or something like that.
Oh, because what happened is literally like.
We don't need to talk about this, Kyle.
There was a small period of time. Well, I was going to say this. There was a small period of time just for you. Like, we don't have to have this in, but like, there was a small period of time where I wasn't doing that great, and Ethan was kind of angry a lot. And I now understand more of the reasons why you were angry, and that sucks, and I'm sorry about that. And there were some times where I was trying to take the high road, and Ethan would get mad, and I would like pick on him or do something, and then he would like snap at me, which was very rare. Ethan never got angry, and he would snap on me and just like mess me up, like because I wouldn't do anything. I would literally be like, okay, and then that would happen, and then the one few times at that period of time where like I would do something, it would be like, and Ethan would just like disappear off the side of something.
Literally like just like charging at you. All I was gonna do was like tackle you. But like I remember that one time. It was one time specifically. I came into your room. I was angry at something. I charged at you to try and like tackle you or like grab you, and you just got.
And I got him around his tummy and just lifted him up over.
No, not that one. You got. I don't remember that one. You got a perfect just right hook. You just took your right hand and you just brought it straight across my face, and it just like wiped me for a second. I just remember blacking out in the feeling of hitting a bed and then coming back to and then going fuck, and then I just went right back at you, and then we actually had like a small little fight because I got pissed at that point in time when I realized shit, I just got momentarily like knocked out. It was like a couple of seconds that I like actually like was like,
hey, look, I'm just gonna say this. I don't think I've ever had a real fair fight because it's very rare that I'll ever go for a hit to someone's head like that. Because I'm kind of scared of fighting. I don't like fighting physically. I'm afraid of it. I always feel like I'm smaller than other people. I don't know why, but I always feel like I'm not able to actually hold my own. I think it's from like just stuff when I was a kid, and so it's really rare for me to actually get a good hit on somebody because it's like, Eden's a great fighter. But like it's rare for me to actually defend myself completely because I don't go for face hits. I go for like body and back hits and stuff because I don't want to hit you in the head. I just want you to understand this is a very like rare period of time where Ethan and I were both adults, and we did not like fist fight each other. as children, and we do not fist fight each other. But there was this rare period of time where, for some reason, we were filled with anger.
It was like between the time I was 16 and 18 was the period of time that we like fought the most, probably. Like that was the period of time. That we got in the most fights. Like it was when we were when we lived at Charlesworth to when we lived at Little Pondway. That was the period.
And usually, and I will say this: I really tried to avoid hitting. I don't know if you agree with this, but I tried to avoid hitting first. I usually didn't hit first,
unless you were really.
But I was definitely the antagonist. I was definitely the antagonist of like I would push, or I would like push him, or I would like say something, but I would never like.
You would provoke.
I just don't.
You would get in the person's face. You would yell. You would push. You would get angry, and if they made the first swing, you would flip your switch and go for it.
And yeah, I picked on Ethan a lot, and like we accidentally hurt each other, but like that was the first time ever like it was like, oh, we're fighting, and that freaked me out. Like to this day, I still like have moments where like when we weren't talking for a while, where I was really depressed that somehow like a few fights for a period of like 2 years like ruined the fact that I was a good older brother. Like that I had messed up really bad somehow, and like I feel like that's also a reason why Ethan had a hard time like taking me seriously as like somebody who, because like I'm not trying to brag when I say this at all. I know so little in the end. Like there's still so much I want to learn and be experienced at and help people with, but I wanted to help Ethan because I saw a lot of the stuff, and I didn't know all the things he was going through, but I saw a lot of the stuff I went through in what Ethan was going through, and I feel like he could have avoided it, but he didn't listen to me, and I felt like that was my fault. I felt like I just didn't do right by you, you know?
No,
and I'm sorry for that.
It's not your fault at all. When I was, that was around the, like when I was really like angry at that point in time, that was when I was probably about 16. That was a point in time in my life where I was really stressed out, a lot, like really, really stressed out, and I was dealing with really bad anxiety at that point in time. And the thing is that I have an issue with this, and I know it, and I admit it, and I'm better at handling it now, way better at handling it now. Is that I didn't know how to voice my anxieties and my stresses and things like that, and so I would build and build and build and build, and if somebody said something that just hit a nerve, it would cause me to explode in that situation, and I would get very angry. And I haven't done that in like years. And there was a lot of factors that caused that, but
so it's coming any day now. It's just a longer timer.
It hasn't been.
It's like a 3-year timer.
Now I let it out more.
No, I don't think
I just talk about it. But
no, I don't. I think you're doing really good. I think we're both doing really good, and like I'm glad I got to say that. I know it doesn't put me in a good light, and honestly, that's probably a good thing. Like I'm a human being. I messed up a lot. I'm not full of great moments. Like, I'm usually full of a mix of pretty crappy moments and pretty good moments. But, like, it just makes me have this perspective and this, like, real appreciation that we're better now. And Ethan does, he's always been a great open ear. But I really hope the things like I try to impart to you, because, you know, in the end, like, we don't have an enormous age gap, but I've definitely experienced a few things that Ethan hasn't, and I want to be able to share things and actually have you, like, not repeat things I've done, or, like, have that experience gifted to you to learn, where like you don't have to be upset or like in pain about something that maybe like I went through, and because you've already dealt with stuff, and I don't want you to have any more of a rough time with anything. I want you to be able to really enjoy and like sail through this good part of like 20s and 30s are like a great part of your life, and yeah, and that's what it is in the end. And I'm glad that finally like we've moved past a lot of that, and we're finally open and able to just dialogue with each other without having to actually bring up the emotional pain that comes with talking about this, because we've buried that. Like
We
I
can
don't
talk about
feel
it in
any
a analytical way with a. We can talk about it in an emotional way, but we can talk about it in an emotional way of that's the past. We've become better people. We love each other. We're here now.
yeah.
And I did want to say, I definitely went through. I was having a hard time then, and I definitely got angry a lot. And it was hard. It was definitely from 16 to 18 was probably one of the harder periods of time in my life. I was in a relationship that I really should have just. I actually think I tried to end the relationship around that 16 mark and decided not to, and that was a bad idea in my opinion. Although I also don't regret it because it helped me become a better boyfriend to my current girlfriend, and it helped me learn a lot of things I should have learned. But I definitely was having a tough time then, and I know you were too. And I also am just really happy that we're able to talk like this now. And I always knew that you were like, you're literally one of the kindest people, like, I know, kindest, sweetest, most generous. Like, every time I talk to you, I remember Katie, the first time you guys talked, like, I had talked to her about you at that point in time and explained like our relationship really, and you know she knows a couple of these things already that that we're talking about now. But I told her this, that I think you're one of the kindest people, and every single time like you would talk to us or like, you know, hang out with us or anything like that, she would always accentuate just how like kind you are, like, and just how like truthfully like good of a person you are. And you are a little bit too selfless sometimes, and I think that you definitely should take a little bit more care of yourself in certain situations. But I really do appreciate how good of a person you've become and are continuing to become as well. I'm just proud of you as a person.
You're dumb.
I'm dumb. I'm dumb. Thank you.
You're dumb. I'm. Ethan is the. I don't even know how to describe how great you are. I've always looked at you and thought, like, out of the people we grew up with in our family, that you were like, you're just a talent, man. Like, you're a talent that people for some reason can't look at the right way. And there's some people now who are finally seeing how amazing like you are, and you're this amazingly complex person. And like I've always, the reason like I was such a jerk when we were really young, you know, is because in the end, like, even though I really appreciated and admired a lot about you, like I was very jealous. Like, you were a very complex like individual. Like, you're I'm really proud always of you. Like, you are somebody I talk about frequently, and are proud that people know your name and people know, like, because you're so smart, you're well spoken, you're kind, like, you know, but you also stick up for yourself. Like, you're able to hold your own when you need to care about yourself, but you will in the end go out of your way to like help others, even if it like hurts you in the moment. And you full of God, and you have a wonderful girlfriend. You finally found somebody who I think, like, in the end, like, your values, the bottom core of your values are, like, the same, and you love people, and you have a passion to help people be good, and, like, and you're handsome, and
Thank You don't have to keep praising me, but thank you. I really
I just always thought highly of you, Ethan. Always. There's never been a moment where anything you've done or anything you could do could ever make me think less of you and how much I love you. So, thank you for being so kind to me. But yeah, so let's move past all this sappy crap to political news that's so important.
Oh, this was supposed to be lighthearted. Oh, hi, Katie. Perfect timing. Yeah, this was supposed to be like a lighthearted, funny conversation. It ended up being like this, like a deep heart-to-heart, like between us, you know. So.
Well, we're far away and we don't see each other too often. So I mean, this is kind of the times where that kind of stuff probably is going to come out. We'll try to make sure it's not filling up every episode, so you're not like emotionally strained. Everybody, thank you so much for listening through our emotional diatribe as we have come to show you why we really want to talk to each other, express our ideas, have good laughs, and just talk to each other because, you know, we're family and there's a lot we've gone through and now you know some of it. So I hope you enjoyed some of the funny stories, some of the emotional stuff, where we actually like aired out some of, you know, the things we've come to accept. And you know, I know it's, let's talk, you know, there's a lot of nothing to talk about, but today there was a lot of something to talk about. That's for sure.
Yes, there was.
Alright, bless up.
Woo! Bless. Alright. Well, we will hopefully see you guys next time. Please check out any podcasts from the past that you haven't seen. Check out our description, if there is a description. I'm not sure which one it would be.
We're posting every Monday of the month. So
every Monday of the month. Okay, cool.
Yep.
I think our first posting will be December 25th, Christmas, right?
Yeah, so even if it doesn't fall on a Monday, our first post will be Christmas, and then after that, every Monday.
After that, okay. So yeah, I mean, actually, this won't be posted on Christmas, so you would already have seen. Just go back and look at some more. We're gonna try.
Check out our Christmas special
different
episode.
Different podcast channels and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm working on a subscription for Apple Podcast, and it'll be on Spotify and YouTube on the channel. There's a lot of nothing to talk about. And also, I think our first episode will also be posted on the Holy Walkers channel just to sort of air out and network the idea. But besides that, everything else will be on our two streaming channels for the podcast. So listen to us or see us there.
Awesome.
All right.
Peace, y'all.